Hi, I'm Donna Fox, and I want to tell you about my very first week in the Milan Art Institute Mastery Program. This is not a review. This year, as the result of figuring out what my art goals are, I decided to take a formal art class for the first time. Up until this point, I'd been self-directed. I've learned all of my art learnings from paint and sip events, books that I've read, and YouTube, lots and lots of YouTube videos and Skillshare. So this is the first time I've gotten into a formal art class, any kind of program. So I just want to tell you about it. And this is not a review because I don't know anything about art programs. I'm brand new myself, so I'm really just going to share my experiences with you. All right, so starting at the basics, our first lessons in the Milan Institute were about simple mark making, like drawing marks and circles, and proper posture for drawing while standing, which is not my usual method. I've done plenty of drawings sitting down in a chair with a book this size, often while watching television. This is a much more formal drawing method where you stand and you move your arm to draw. It feels like drawing while standing up is a completely different skill than working small in a sketchbook. So that took a lot of challenge in the very beginning, but so that's what we started. And we did this proportion exercise where you used your pencil like this to measure and compare something and draw the appropriate portion size. And we were drawing our hand holding a paintbrush. So later on, we did a proportion exercise where you use a proportion tool like this one, and we just drew a shoe. I picked a shoe. And the way you use a proportion tool like this changes your scale. You move this piece in different dots. So you start with a small scale something and then hold it up. Let's say in the distance, the height of, I have a coffee mug on my table, is this high. But if I want to draw it on this canvas, it's going to take it from this size to this size and make it that much bigger. So here's a proportion tool. I've used one on paper, like to draw from a physical reference into a book. This is the first time I've used it from life. And it was really challenging because when you're holding it up against a paper, you know that the measurement is exact. When you're holding it up in life, it is really easy to change the measurement by how you're flexing your hand. If you're not holding your arm out straight, if you're not holding your hand exactly at an angle, it's really, really easy to just have, I guess you can't see it. It's really easy to have it turned this way, and that changes the distance considerably rather than have it straight out. So that was also a big learning, challenging lesson. It was the first time I have used this and trying not to twist my wrist to screw up the lines. Let me show you some footage of these assignments while I talk about why I chose this program specifically. Hey, so it is Super Bowl Sunday, but while I'm waiting for the game to start, I'm going to work on these two paintings. I've got this one from the Milan Art Institute project. This is my very first oil painting, so I need to really do a lot of work on this because I think I flubbed the first step. So I'll try to make it up on the third. And then this is a commission that I am working on of a portrait of a little girl and her little sister. So working on those today before the Super Bowl. So the name of the program I'm taking again is the Mastery Program from the Milan Art Institute, which sounds like a fancy Italian art school, but really Milan is just their last name. And the school was created by a family of successful artists, and they recently brought their art program classes entirely online with a one-year art mastery program. So I want to be clear again, this is not a review of that program. I have no business reviewing an art course because I have no other art courses to compare it to. This is my first time taking a formal art course. So in lieu of a review, I'm planning on documenting my journey through each week's assignments and letting you decide for yourself if this program is right for you. So it's been about 10 days since I was last here and painted this parrot. So it's should be fully dry now. It is oil paint, but it's been like 10 days, even though we've had some rain. Should be dry. I don't really feel like I got that lesson though, especially since I had to step away from things. I was busy with work and I went to a networking event last weekend. So it's been a while since I've done any painting.
and I don't feel like I really understood this particular lesson of the parrot. So rather than move forward in the training, I'm going to do the parrot painting over again.
So here we are back at this subtraction exercise. I've done the first, which is to layer on Van Dyke Brown and a translucent layer, and then use subtraction tools to take any of the lighter parts away. And I darken up the darks a little bit just because it dried so fast that I wasn't able to pull much up using the subtraction tools. So that was my problem the first time I did it. I think I got a little bit better at it this time. It's the reason why I'm doing it a second time. I think I got a little better with the technique this time. But I'm about to go into the second step of this process, which is to add a layer of translucent color on top of this. So I've got my values in. I'm going to add a layer of translucent color. It shouldn't take me too long. They say about half an hour for this step. So that's my next step. This year's worth of training videos, it's actually 48 weeks of lesson videos specifically, and 2 years worth of group coaching cost me around $3,000. And when you pay the full amount up front, you get a decent discount, and all of that content is unlocked for you instantly. You own it for a lifetime. So if you purchase via the payment program, it's unlocked as you go, and that makes a whole lot of sense. They don't want to give you access you haven't paid for yet. Also, as part of this program, there's a really active online community where you can get feedback from coaches and other members, and it does appear to be valuable, at least from my limited view. Just in terms of the volume of content that you're getting, I feel like there's a lot of value in this program for the money. But what do I know? I'm only 1 week in. They also offer one-on-one mentorship, which I have decided to forego, mostly because I don't have the time that I feel like I should commit to working consistently while working with a mentor. So before I go on, I want to note that I've also spent more than $1,000 in additional supplies for the program so far, and anticipate another $1,000 or so before it's all done in paints and canvases and other supplies. So your overall cost for this program is likely to be closer to $5,000 depending on what you have already in terms of supplies. So it is not an insignificant investment. I purchased the Milan Art private label products of paints and brushes, and you can see an unboxing here. Mostly I purchased this because I wanted to do the program with exactly the tools that they recommend, so I'd have no excuses for not doing well inside the program. It'd be so easy to say, oh, well, my paint mustn't have been as good as their paint, and now I have no excuses. You could probably exchange some time and money and get the supplies cheaper if you're willing to shop around. But for me, I really wanted to experience the whole program the way they envision it, which is with their tools and supplies. I'm eager to use all of these supplies and dive into the techniques of oil painting, which until this week I had never done, and mixed media and collage, which I've only really done sparingly. So the next lesson this week was my very first oil painting lesson. And after we covered some basics about how to paint with oils, like how to clean the brushes and how to prepare for painting and clean up from painting, we learned subtractive painting, where you cover the canvas in a middle value of oil paint and use a subtraction tool or a paintbrush or cotton swab or makeup sponge or rag or anything else to wipe away paint and pull out the image and the highlights. And then my second parrot I did, so I can solidify the technique in my mind, let's look into why I chose specifically the Art Mastery Program. Although I have no experience with art classes, it appears that the Milan Art Mastery is not your typical art program. This is a non-accredited art school, so you're not going to get a degree, that promises to transform complete novices into skilled artists who not only create mesmerizing, beautiful works, but also can navigate the art industry with ease and become a full-time artist by the end of the year. I do not believe this promise. I don't think that you can take a novice, someone who's maybe never picked up a paintbrush before, and groom them to create a full-time income in under a year. But hey, what do I know? I have heard from other reviewers when I was doing my due diligence on the program that the people they hear about having art success in the program are ones that had prior art experience. And I tend to believe that. I know how long it took me to develop some skills, and I can't imagine selling art within the first year. Second, I already have a very busy and demanding career and ownership in a startup software company, so I can't dedicate all the time I need. They say it takes 20 hours, dedicated 20 hours a week to finish the program in 1 year. I don't have that much time for me, at least not regularly each and every week. So I plan on taking 2 years. And in fact, this first week's worth of assignments took me 1 month to complete because of travel and life. A big part of my decision to invest in this program is for the variety of skills they teach, not just art skills like oil painting, but the art business techniques and strategies. And even though I'm already a successful marketer of information products and software with my company Groove Digital, I know absolutely nothing about what kind of art sells, how to price and sell it, or how to work with galleries and collectors. I'm looking forward to the end of the program when we cover those topics, and I want to learn the ins and outs of successful art marketing from people who have been there and learned the ins and outs of the industry themselves. This course also focuses on drawing, which I feel like I have yet to master. Oil painting, and you're probably watching my very first one of those, and mixed media painting using a variety of materials like collage paper and inks and spray paints and acrylics and oils all together. And I am very excited about that part of the program and the deeply layered paintings that it's possible to create. But this art journey is more than just learning to sell art. It's about finding your unique voice and discovering how to create pieces that speak from your soul to others, and also how to share those pieces with the world. And I'm excited about section 3 of the program, where you go through exercises and processes to discover your artist's voice and determine what kinds of art you like to create and how to develop a cohesive body of work. All things I really know nothing about or hadn't thought about at all before starting this program.
Okay, so this is my parrot painting in the current state. It's pretty dark. Let me move it over here a little bit better. Yeah. It's still really shiny in places, even though it's dry to the touch. I'm not sure why it's shiny, so I think that's going to be a question that I'm going to ask in my coaching group. So I'll let you know the answer to that. It may still be wet and just not wet to the touch, but some of it is definitely shiny. Maybe I use more medium in that on those places. Anyway, I'll find out. So I'm on the last stage of it, which is to take this dark layer and add in all of the lights in opaque colors. So a bright opaque layer that'll make it like really shine and pop and stand out. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that, and I'll take a few hours today to finish it. I've got loads of time. I maybe only have an hour into this painting already, hour and a half tops. So I could take up to 8 hours or so to do it. I think it'll take me about 2, maybe 3. So here I go.
So here on the screen are the drawings and paintings I created in week 1. I invite you to join me as I progress through the program. It's going to be challenging and I'm sure rewarding. Through Art Mastery, I hope to bridge the gap between art and entrepreneurship, and I can't wait to share that adventure with you. I am so excited about the increase in skills between my very first oil painting and my very second oil painting. I just wanted to do the strategy again a second time and just look at the improvement in one painting from one to the other. So it's no question in my mind that I'm going to learn so much in this program. Thanks for watching. If you are intrigued by this intersection of art and business, then don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you're looking for inspiration, I will have lots of it. And don't forget, it's not inspiration if it doesn't inspire you to take action. I'll see you again after I complete next week's assignments.
Full of colors that paint my dreams. With every brushstroke I'm living out my scheme. Sketchbooks filled with pages of my soul's reflection.